Today we continue with our Women of Promise, focusing on Mrs. Potiphar. You'll remember previously we spoke about Mrs. Lot. Well, Mrs. Potiphar, of course, is linked to the story of Joseph in the book of Genesis, and she comes as the wife of a leader that Joseph was working for, and she tempts him in his relationships, in his trust, and the temptation is very great for Joseph. Joseph, of course, as we know from the book of Genesis, chose to say no to temptation. In fact, he went out of his way to avoid temptation. But as I consider Mrs. Potiphar, I have to wonder how she responded when Joseph refused to have relations with her. Did she simply say, "You know what, Joseph, you're right. I've made a mistake"? But instead, the Bible tells us that day after day, she spoke to Joseph. You see, that's how temptation comes, friends. Day after day after day. It's very rare that temptation only comes once. And so when you and I say no to temptation, and we have perhaps a moment of victory, it's important to remember, don't be complacent. Don't think temptation will never come again. Because you know what? Satan does not give up that easily. Temptation comes day after day. I think if I were to use my imagination, what Mrs. Potiphar probably would say to Joseph would be this: "Joseph, come and sit with me. My husband neglects me. I just need someone to talk to." Now, Joseph knew that the temptation would be too strong, so he chose to say no. But I think what Mrs. Potiphar reminds us is, you know, one of the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not covet. Learning to be content with what we have and not wishing that we were someone else, somewhere else, with someone else. And so as you think about Mrs. Potiphar this morning, what does it mean to have a contented heart? What does it mean to rely on God's provisions, both relationally and in our communities? God bless you as you think on these things.